It's funny. There's this guy who founded a company called Lightzilla. Actually, his name's Adam Greenspan, and it's
Mm.
funny. It's funny. I met him on a flight, and this flight was I'm an early person. Wake up at the absolute crack of dawn. Some people are like, how do you do it? Real simple. I just go to bed very early. This was a very
Mhm.
late flight. I was like out of it. I was sleeping on the plane. I woke up and he dropped his ticket. And I reached down, picked it up, and I just saw it. It said Greenspan. I didn't really notice the /A versus
Mm.
/S. Um,
Mm.
and I look at it and I lean forward like this and I put it in my back pocket and I go to sleep and he
Yeah.
hits me on the arm and he goes, "What are you doing?" Not like he even needs a ticket, but it's just weird for me to like grab
Yeah.
his ticket and pick it up. And I
Pocket
was
the
like,
ticket.
yeah, I was just like, I don't know, like, it's just my ticket. So of course we started chatting and now we're good friends. But he has he told me once that when you're running a company, and even if you're not running a company, living life, so much of life is routine. So much of life is, I don't want to use the word like mundane task, but it's like, it's, you gotta, clean the house or take care of the house. You got to do things logistically or,
Mhm.
hygiene, like things like that, that if you can't find love in those moments, it's going to be difficult to remain really happy. And, it's so cool because he said that. I hear you say it. And
Mhm.
my favorite book is a book called The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. And they talk about that. There's no ordinary moments. And it's like,
Mm.
that's what it all is. Like the chance for you to spend time with your children and like,
Mhm.
get them ready. Like you got to love that because you're going to be doing it a lot.
It's so true. And yeah, like I think back on the times that I was the least happy in life, and it was like the times that I was doing the coolest variety of stuff, probably, versus like
Mm,
letting like humans are drawn to routine. And I see it a lot with the children because if we work so hard to set a routine for them. And then if you disrupt that routine, like they have a tantrum, they have a meltdown, like whatever it is, like there's like a human need for that, at least some level of consistency.
totally. That's really interesting. And when you said like too much variety, like was it that you were like biting off more than you can chew, or it was like you were doing so much like random stuff you weren't like being able to like bring all your awareness and like mastery to like certain things?
I Somewhere in between. So the period that immediately jumped to mind was, so before I started Exuberancy, I started a company with one of my best friends called the Holiday Lighting Pros of Seattle. I don't know if I've chatted about it. It's a Christmas lighting company based in Seattle, Washington, that I started when I was
Nice.
22, and it was
Still
like,
running?
yeah, still exists. It was such a cool opportunity to like just get a small business off the ground. There was a couple that ran the Christmas light professionals of San Francisco that I met and was super inspired by, and they sort of mentored me and my co-founder Reeves into starting our version. But during part of the allure of that business was it was seasonal. So like September through January, you just like crush work around the clock, and then you have flexibility. Hopefully, if you had a profitable season, to do kind of whatever you want in the off season. And so I did this
Yeah.
combination of like running myself into the ground in the fall and the winter, and then in the off seasons, I traveled to Africa for a few months and worked for a friend's nonprofit. I did a whirlwind 3 months in South America. I worked for various film
Amazing.
festivals, like really cool stuff and stuff that still like inspires me to this day. And yet the actual like living of that was really hard because like my relationships were um really scattered, and my
Yeah.
stuff was like literally at my parents' house and like in Seattle in my friend's parents' house. But like everything, there was just no, it frankly is what launched the exuberancy journey. Like realizing that a return to rituals and like investment in feeling whole was actually something I'd overlooked during that like adventurous period.